So hi, One Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Dylan.
And we're asking some questions today about our new album, the 6090's. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
I'm loving it. I think it took me about a year to do the record, so it's just so nice that it's finally out there and people message me about different songs, and it's just so great for them to connect with different ones in a different way, what it means to them. That's super special.
Oh yeah, the record was
That's
awesome.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm already on to the next batch of songs. Like I
Oh
just
my goodness.
back from the studio now, and it feels good. It feels really good to have it out in the world.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, I mean, basically the title. We'll start with the title. It's kind of like a three-layered thing, I guess you could say. Um, it's a balance. So like the way I picture it is it's playing with the decades, obviously. So you got like a bit of a 60s influence. You can really hear the 90s grunge influence in some cases, or like so it's like going through those decades and playing with all my favorite moments of those decades. And I think after I named it, I realized, obviously there's 69, which is hilarious, but it's also like a balance thing. It's like a yin and yang of like, if you really listen to the record, there's like a split of like very like heavy, angrier stuff. And then the other side is like softer, almost like this Beatlesy flower power type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, that's really why I named it that, to create that kind of balance, because there's like everybody's like that in a way. And I feel like records, it's fun to do that with records.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And any meaning behind the cover art?
I wish I could say there was some deep thing behind the cover art, but to be honest, I just felt like we were shooting a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of content for the album itself, and I just saw that picture and it just felt right. Like the coloring, the glove kind of in my face, it just felt like the right shot without it. I don't know. It just kind of presented itself. I wish I could give you some deep answer, but straight up, it was just like, hey, this is the thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that's cool.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Definitely. I kind of go at it about three different ways. Like usually when I start a song, it'll be me and my like Fender. Should I close the window? Are you picking that up?
You're all right.
It's fine. Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be me and an acoustic guitar, just kind of playing around with chords and a voice note. And then I'd bring that and a concept to like Ryan from Mother Mother, who I worked with, and Parker from the Hot Hot Heat. And we just kind of crack open and just try different things with the melodies. A lot of times Ryan and I just like really connect melodically with ideas. We're always on the same page. So it's quite easy when we go in, we'll just play some chords on the piano and I'll bring a concept. I pull a lot from the truth for sure. Just like what I'm going through in my life, and maybe something my friends say that I'll pick up and jot down.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
So a majority of your writing is like done with your producer, like they play an integral part kind of in your music and your writing.
Yeah, I think a lot of times I'll just go in with them and we'll have the intention of writing a song, but there have been other cases where I'll just bring a song that's pretty much finished, like the one I did today. It was pretty much there. I had written like a verse one pre and a chorus, and I played it on guitar and a voice note, and we kind of just put it into the session and just started producing around it as it was. Um, just to see how that demo felt. So it depends on the song.
Makes sense.
Okay, that's fair. So what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
I think Bring on the Blues was kind of this thing that at first it was quite easy,
Mhm.
but the whole process to get it to the finish line was so unbelievably painful. I don't
Oh.
know why. It like we tracked the drums 3 times
Mhm.
because we couldn't find the right feeling of the drums.
Mm.
And to this day, it's still like, man, I want to go back and do it again.
Same. Yeah.
I listened to it, I'm like, we probably could have done the drums again.
Yeah, you're like, we
But
could have done that better.
and it took me like, I kid you not, 4 days to record the verses because I
Wow.
just
Sweet Lord.
I know. Maybe I just like took it too far and it was fine the way it was, but I just really wanted every single word of those verses to just be so real and honest and really up close. So yeah, 4 days of that was a bit much.
That's crazy.
God.
Yeah.
And your favorite off the record?
My favorite, I think it changes all the time, but Just a Boy really connects with me. It means a lot to me. It's about my dad. And yeah, it's just got like, I think when I play it live too, it feels really, really nice.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nice. So how did the track list for the album come about? Did you write the opener be the opener, closer be a closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
I definitely had a clear opener, but with the interludes, I created those interludes into songs. Like there's a conversation. Some people can't quite understand the voice note right before Just a Boy. It's called Bobby's Interlude,
Mhm.
but it was just so perfect. Sometimes like I can be a bit of a weirdo and I'll like record conversation. I'll let people know like with
Okay,
my
good.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't just like record it and not tell people, but what will happen is sometimes I like to record really special conversations. When I knew it was kind of like the last year of my grandmother's life because her health was really declining, I would ask her if I could record our conversations of stories of our grandparents so I could have them forever.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it was just one of those nights I had flown out to visit my dad and my brother was there. And we were having a really nice heart to heart at this table, a little bit of coffee and in the morning. And I was like, I'm gonna record this. Is that okay? And I'm like, yo, okay, Gwen, you and your recording. But I found this moment where my dad was basically explaining how I think he was just kind of having like a little bit of a disagreement with my brother, saying like, you don't know anything. And my brother was like, yeah, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Of course I'm experienced in this. Why wouldn't I be experienced in this?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And his return was because you need time, you need experience and life experience to truly understand certain things. So I just
Mhm.
took that little piece and it just felt like it fit really nicely into Just a Boy.
Nice.
Yeah.
For
That's
sure.
cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I appreciate the fact that you do tell people before you record them, because it'd be awful just showing them the album and they're like, hey,
We
this sounds familiar.
No, and I also asked my brother and my father if I could I sent them the interlude beforehand.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a very private place when you're having a conversation with somebody. You got to really check in because it's like it's going out into the world. So yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Fair enough.
Sure. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this record?
I think it was a lot about self-discovery in the sense of transforming and fully committing to living and breathing artistry because I think there comes a point in your life where you go this way and your friends kind of go the other way. Like my friends are starting to get engaged and stuff, or they're
Hmm.
entering serious relationships. They're finding like their careers. And I feel like my path right now is is a little bit different. Like I'm not looking to buy the place and settle down, which is like so beautiful because, you know, I really appreciate like all my friends' lives, but it was scary for me to admit that to myself that, oh, you know what, maybe I'm going to keep doing this and I'm going to keep writing records and touring. And it can be a bit scary to say like, oh, maybe I actually am an artist. I know it sounds so silly, but to make that leap, and I'm sure both of you as well, like there's artistry in what you're doing, and it's not such a dry cut type of job. And people are just like, what do you like? Some people don't understand either. They're like, oh, you're doing this, like what is that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's so tough sometimes because it's like people don't see you, you know? So I think it was about accepting that, well, maybe I won't walk that road now. I'm not saying forever that door is closed, but I can see myself, you know, I really love Patti Smith. She's in her 70s and she's touring and she's got this beautiful white hair. She's a poet, she's a photographer. And that's something I connect to and that inspires me. So it's like just accepting that I am who I am, and it should be celebrated, you know?
Oh, yes.
And I'm glad that you were able to kind of accept that instead of like living in this like weird, like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do like for the rest of your life? Like, you're just able to accept like, this is what I'm going to do. It's kind of unconventional and I'm not following the path of everyone else, but who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And like listening to that inner voice. And I'm sure the two of you as well, when you started this, you were probably, people were like, well, what do you mean? Like, how was your experience in that?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should I do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
I think there's a song on there for every sort of mood. It's like if you be hurt to like just a boy, it just feels like a very different headspace. But I kind of like the ups and downs because that's truly who I am. I wish I was like such an even keeled person and solid, but I'm so not. I'm so like all over the place, and some days are really great, and some days are like I don't want to get out of bed. So I love taking albums for a walk. I'd say that.
That's good.
Yeah, a walk or a drive. And it doesn't hurt if you're a little bit sad. I often really love listening to music when I'm a little bit sad. It just hits more.
Yes.
And it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
That's that thing, you know?
You got to have the go-to like therapy music where you're just gonna like let it all out to that fucking to that fucking band or that album, you know?
Yeah, I definitely have a few songs where I'm like, I just need a good cry, so I'll like put these three on repeat and just have a beautiful cry.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get it. I love it.
You need it. You need it. It's therapy. It's beautiful to cry. In my opinion, yeah.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. So this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words.
Resilience. I know it's supposed to be off the top of my head. It's just so hard. Resilience, delicate, and aggressive.
That's good. Good job.
Good pick.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
I want listeners to have every kind of emotion, but the most important thing is taking a person to their own life. Like if they can tap into something that's going on in their lives, that is the most important. That's why I even started music, because songs took me to places that helped me cry or made me happy or made me think of somebody I missed or somebody that broke my heart. I want people to feel that in themselves and flash to like, you know, that guy or girl, that smashed their heart or something last week. Like that's what it's about. It's not even about me saying what I want to say. It's how are they feeling when they listen to it.
That's good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a very, very good answer.
Thank you.
So what is your favorite memory that you made while creating this album?
I have a few. Well, Black and Blue was such a beautiful moment. We had written the song and we had just finished pretty much the entire record vocally. And it almost didn't even make the record, but they cleared us to do another song. So Ryan and I made a deal and we said, why don't we record this in, 4 takes, beginning to end?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
And that's it. That's it. We put 2 of those takes together. We send it to mix. No cutting, no, just live. So we had this mic that had like mics on both sides. It's called, oh my gosh, I forgot the name, but it emulates ribbon mics.
Mhm.
And he played guitar and we had just written it. And obviously I'm so nervous because I'm like, do I know all the lyrics? And Ryan's the type of person that he'll write, he doesn't even need a pen, he'll just always remember the words while we're writing. He's just got like a photogenic memory or something.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so you can hear, we played it, he played guitar, sang it, and then I sang it at the same time. We cut it twice, and if you really listen closely, right before the next section you can hear him hum low to give me the tempo to come in, the key.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. It's like this really low hum. I think it goes in the second verse, but he was like, he hummed it so that we'd have the key going into the next part.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just so magical. We did, I think, 3 takes and chose 2 of them. So, and that's what they did in the 40s and 50s. Every single musician in those studios, I mean, Otis Redding, Billie Holiday, all in the room, just such incredible artists that they could do. It was to tape, so they could do it in 1 take, like
Mhm.
nothing. Like just if you listen to the like recordings that didn't make the record, you're like, that is like probably one of my best takes if I chopped everything up, just because they were such masters of their craft. So it was nice to do that. Yeah.
It's an interesting idea and super cool that you guys are able to pull it off. But I'm just like, what was kind of the thought process behind like, let's do it in 4 takes? If it's not in 4 takes, we don't do it, because like you just said earlier in the interview, where there was a song where the drum track alone was 4 or 5 takes.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt right. It was like the end of the record. We had done, all of our due diligence on every single word, every single take. I'm just so about the vocal being absolutely the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, it's like there are singers that, like Mariah Carey is unbelievable, technically unbelievable. I could never sing like that. There's just no way. Even if I tried, it would be so bad. But what I do love are, singers that are like Neil Young is not a great singer. Really is not. But when you hear him sing, you believe every word, because the way his words kind of crack and fall apart and you can feel the pain. I know I keep bringing up Billie Holiday, but her range is not very much, but you're just like dead about every word because it's sung with such emotion and such truth. So that's what I was after.
Makes sense.
Wow.
Okay.
So the last one, I was just like, you know what? Let's just do it and let it be how it is, from like a super honest, unfiltered place.
That makes sense.
Do you think you would ever try that for like a full length, like your next album?
There's no way.
It'd be fun for the first day.
Yeah, maybe, you know what? I'll challenge myself to do a couple. But I'm just such a control freak with my own self.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, yeah, I just strive to like make every word. I'm that person that'll listen to the song 150 times that day, like down the hall, off the phone, in the car, for a walk, off the speaker in another room. How does it make you feel?
Mhm.
I really become obsessive, but that's part of the fun for me.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Fair enough.
wish I could let it go, but there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no getting rid of that.
No.
So picture this: you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
Snack of choice. I really love Cheez-Its. In the US, especially, I'm from Canada. They have every single kind of Cheez-It. And sometimes I get a little wild with the flavors. And I really like sugar-free Red Bull, I gotta say.
Fair enough.
Okay,
Fair enough.
that's good. So on the topic of food, if your project was a dish, what dish would your project be and why?
These are great questions, by the way.
Thank you.
Um, oh, that is so hard. I think it's kind of like a chili, maybe.
Oh, okay. A chili.
Yeah, a chili. I don't know. It just has ingredients of different things, a little bit spicy, a little bit comforting. And I think that's it. Like chili, I feel like there's something way better out there. Or like pho or something.
Ooh, yeah. Pho's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, some sort of warming, grounding type of thing, but a little bit of spice.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that fits. That's good.
Yeah. So for the last couple questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
I'm gonna have to go classic. I would do a steak with potatoes, like mashed potatoes, and a bottle of red wine, like some like Cabernet Sauvignon from California. And my favorite scotch is Oban. I never know how to pronounce it. Really great scotch. I do that. And can I pick a dessert?
Sure.
Oh yeah, go for it.
My grandmother's strawberry rhubarb pie.
Sounds good.
Sounds very
Nice.
So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
I want to say Game of Thrones, but we probably wouldn't last very long.
No.
Fictional world. I have such a big heart and fan for Star Wars. Like I just would love to be in space and kind of do that thing. That would be really interesting.
It'd be really sick.
Time to like the 70s when in Laurel Canyon when all the big bands were coming up.
Mhm.
I would love to just teleport there.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that'd
That's
be cool.
So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Can it be three or it has to be one?
One. One.
Purple.
Ooh.
Nice. Can I
Yeah.
ask specific
Specific
shade, or will that make it too complicated?
If you go to the Jimi Hendrix Experience record, there's a purple in there, and that's the purple.
I think I know what you're talking
Perfect.
about.
Okay, I see you, Shane.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Just that the album is out. I really hope people enjoy listening to it. And I think there's a song on there for everybody. And yeah, I'm happy it's out there. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Well, thank you for now. It's been Dylan, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.